Call the meeting to order. Roll call, please.
Kolpak.
Here.
Pepcorn.
Here.
Preston. Here. Strand. Mahoney.
Here. Well, Mike, we'll start this off, and I know you have to go to jury duty at 8, so we will know when you leave at that time. It's because you're doing your duty that you need to do. How would you like us to start?
Good morning. This meeting is to address all of the outstanding value appeals and to finalize and certify the 2023 assessment. So we do have some people in the room who want to address the board as well as possibly some virtually. So you have the agenda packets before you and with all of the appeals and our recommendations. And there's some lists at the end of them that we'll be going over. We have about 31 that we will be forwarding to the county, and that's simply basically the ones that we weren't able to get to because we ran out of time. We have to certify and send over to the county. So the people that are present or online may wish to address you, and so I guess if we go through the bulleted points and we'll introduce them and then have them speak as they wish, and we can go forward from there. And then again, once I leave here, then my deputy will take over and we'll go through the list with you to get everything finished off.
Okay. 4300 20th Avenue South, Statebridge Suites, O'Connor. 1635 42nd Street, Delta Hotel, O'Connor. 40th 17th Avenue South, Candlewood Suites, O'Connor. I take it that they are not speaking to us today.
Yep, we don't think that they'll be showing up. So with those three, we could just go ahead with the motions that are recommended at the bottom. Those three are to retain the values.
Okay. Do you have a motion?
I'll make the motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
Roll call vote, please.
Pepcorn.
Aye.
Kolpak.
Aye.
Preston. Strand.
Yes.
Mahoney.
Aye. Silverleaf Properties, Vipon. The 1714 9th Street, Matthew. — 351 7th Avenue North, Selkinson. 1909 Rose Creek Drive South, Camrood. 2302 35th Avenue South, Birch. 6622 Crofton Lane South, Eastham.
Good morning, Mayor and Commissioners. My name is Tim Nasham. My original contention was that the data doesn't support the values. Since the last meeting, I have not received any communication from anybody. There's more city staff in this room than there was citizens in the meeting, and nobody could even pick up a phone and call me or an email, nothing. I just found out this morning that you all have a packet that shows the information of all this. I did not receive the packet, had no indication that there was a packet. Typically with commission meetings, you can pick up agenda when you come in the room. That wasn't there today. Absolutely zero communication about anything. I still dispute the data, and I really don't even know today what's been decided on my evaluation. So just really disappointed in the process here today.
Okay, so the information you have before you, what we do is we take a look at the sales of similar types of properties to see, how it lines up with the market and if we can support the value. At this point, we do have a value on the property of $187 per square foot. And the sales that we're showing show a median price of $243 a square foot for comparable properties. So at this point, I'm not 100% sure.
Mr. Chair, can I ask a question real quick?
Yeah.
So when they, usually we ask if we can go and do a in-person evaluation. Did we do that?
That's what I'm going to find out here right now.
Thank you.
We had just recently last year been in the property,
And so I sent him the data, I emailed it, and I never heard back. And I didn't get the email back, so I'm sorry.
Heard back what? I don't know. Mr. Haley has been at my house twice in the last 2 years. He's been to my house. I've been very easy to get a hold of. You can come to my house anytime. You know, that's not an issue. And as far as hearing back, I did get this data back. And for hearing back, I showed up at the meeting to come back and say, I dispute this data. These homes, I have this spreadsheet in front of me. They're 7 years newer than mine. They're bigger than mine. They have different finishes than mine. I'm here to dispute the data.
Mike, could we allow him to appeal to the county?
Yes, absolutely. He can go to the county with this information and even to the state, being he's appealed at this level. But I guess as far as the data goes, we have to go with the information that we have before us. And we do try to do an apples to apples comparison with this type of thing. And sometimes people don't agree with us, and or we don't agree with them. But we would say that we feel that we have good support based on what we're presenting here.
So I have a question. Has anybody reviewed this since the last meeting? I guess there's your answer.
So, Mr. Chair, can you explain to him what happens next? So after here, then he does have an opportunity with so just give him what the next steps are.
I do understand the next steps. And right now, this commission can vote no on this, on mine. And I mean, if that's what you're planning on, I mean, if you're planning on voting yes, you're doing it without any reevaluation. I came to the last meeting to get a reevaluation. They have not provided any new information. I mean, come on, guys.
I guess at this point, we would say that the information we presented, we felt was the best information we had. And so at that point, we only have so many sales. We can't go forward and grab new sales that have occurred since February 1st or anything along those lines. We have to use the sales that are established before January 1st of 2023 to do our valuation. And so if we had taken a look, I'm guessing that the first time we looked at it, we came up with that's the best information we have. Again, we had 450 appeals to do this year, which is a large amount for us. And I know that the due diligence was taken from our standpoint, and you're certainly welcome to have the county take a look at it for you.
So our resolution of this would be a motion to put it as an unresolved appeal to the County Board of Equalization?
Well, at this point, we do have a recommendation, and so you can either take the recommendation or you can reject it. But then at that point, he would need to appeal to the county.
Then he can appeal.
Yep.
Okay. Do I have a motion? Your mic's off.
The recommendation is to retain,
Yeah, we feel that we
587.
can support the value.
so the 187 per square foot is related to the updated, I'm assuming between 450 and 586. That's a market adjustment, or was that related to an
I would say, yeah,
evaluation?
this is a relatively new house, so I would say most of this is market adjustment.
Okay.
I don't know what the definition of relatively new is. My house is 7 years old. Most of the comps on the sheet are brand new home sales, or a couple of years. So at this point, I would like to request the mayor and commissioners to deny the new value based on just lack of evidence, lack of communication, lack of transparency. That's what I'm asking for today.
Thank you. Do I have a motion from the commission?
Mayor, I move we deny the appraisal increase and send it to the county as unresolved.
Is there a second?
I'll second it for the sake of discussion. What does that do, Michael?
So can I ask you to clarify what you meant by your motion?
It would mean that we'll deny the increase recommended and let the county hear the appeal.
So basically, it reverts back to the 2022 value?
Yes.
Okay. That's what it would mean, is that the increase, can you get that?
What was the 2022 value?
Not sure I have the 22 value.
Tim, do you know your value last year?
According to the letter, it says 495, 400.
Mr. Chairman, if I could ask another question. So can you explain the list of comparable sales, the per square foot is much higher? Are
Yes,
Are they comparable homes, or what, why are they so much different?
the sales that we have are all what we view as comparable sales. This home is quite a bit larger than its counterparts of this age. The house itself is 3,100 square feet above grade. Finding comparable sales of that size of this quality is difficult. We found sales all above 2,200 square feet, and what we saw with those sales is a median sale price of $243 a square foot. Granted, they are newer, however, we don't believe they're that much newer. They also are in the same area.
I think one important thing to note there is, he said square feet finished above grade. I went through some of these houses they provided me, and they have finished basements. I don't have a finished basement, and I think that's probably where the discrepancy here comes from. They're comparing my house to other sales with a finished basement. If my basement was finished, this valuation probably would be close.
As far as that,
And I never even had a chance to have this conversation with the assessment department.
as far as that goes, typically, we're not going to be valuing a finished basement if we don't have it in there. So that's not going to be part of the value contribution. The other thing, as far as the, within the appraisal world, if you have a relatively new house, again, and I say relatively because a 7-year-old house, from the standpoint of, say, a national firm like Marshall and Swift, would say that depreciation hasn't even started until 5 years of a house. So from an appraisal standpoint, we would say a house that's 5 years old is still new. So only a certain amount of depreciation has started to accrue on a 7-year-old house. And a lot of times, the other thing is, when I say that we try to do this apples to apples as closely as possible, it's because of the features of this home. We're trying to match it up to any kind of sales that we have that are very similar. And in this case, we didn't have anything that was 2017 model house that was built at that time as far as sales go. We don't get a lot of sales of newer homes. And so unless if it's the sale of a new built home. So we have to work with the data that we have.
And I think that goes to show is just lacking data.
Any discussion by the commissioners?
Mr. Chairman, if I could ask one
Mr.
more question.
Preston?
So the 3137 does not include the basement?
Correct.
Correct.
Okay.
Basement's unfinished at my home.
Yeah. And
Roll call vote.
I'm sorry?
we typically don't include the basement square footage in the square footage calculation. Only thing is only square footage above grade.
But when new homes sell, they sell based on if the basement is finished or not. So when you have a comparable that you're comparing that has been sold, the price is different with a finished basement.
Roll call vote, please.
Strand,
Yes.
Preston,
No.
Kolpak,
Yes.
Pepcorn,
No.
Mahoney.
No. Have a new motion, please.
I'll make the suggested motion.
Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Discussion? So we retain the value as the assessors say, and he can appeal it to the county.
Yep.
Roll call vote, please.
Pepcorn,
Aye.
Preston,
Aye.
Strand,
No.
Kolpak,
No.
Mahoney.
Aye. Item 3677, Cordiva Loop Drain, Rattan.
page 18 of the packet.
Mr. Chairman, could I ask a question about the last one? Will the staff meet with the homeowner in between, or?
Typically, we do try to set up a time to meet with them. It depends on if we've been out there recently, if we think that the information is incorrect or not. It also depends on if we can get a hold of them or not.
So you'll make an attempt to communicate?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Sounds good.
Mike, you're on.
Yes, sir. Good morning, Commissioners. Thank you for the opportunity to speak this morning. I wish to thank Janelle and the staff of the City Assessor's Office for their timely response to our request for reconsideration, recalculation of her home's proposed assessed value. Janelle indicated in her email to us that she and James had completed a new analysis of our home to create a uniformity with other dwellings in our area. She indicated she and James used a different analytic model of existing dwellings and not new construction. The proposed assessed value of her home was reduced from a valuation of $595,100 at $336 a square foot to $569,500 $322 a square foot. Michelle and I believe the staff worked with good intent. However, we believe the analytic tool to be flawed. Our research of the appraisal process has been very educational. We found assessed value as a fuzzy math of combining the recent sales price of similar properties with the additional variables of seller's concession to the buyer, real estate agent commissions, and closing costs to establish the baseline value. This baseline value and the addition of current and pending special assessments assigned against the property becomes the true and full value of the property. We believe this calculation to be or not to be reactive to the influences of changing mortgage rates. And I did include some information from Fortune Magazine and Realtor.com. It's the lowering of the market we believe warrants further reduction of the proposed assessed value. We had provided to the city history of the 2022 sales of homes sold in the Fargo area that match our home, single-story, one-family home, 5-bedroom, 3-bath, 1,600 to 1,800 square feet with a finished basement and attached 3-stall garage. 36 homes met this criteria, sold in Fargo in 2022. Our revised assessed cost per square foot of $322 ranked us 12th highest in comparison with costs per square foot of other properties sold. And that was including new construction. Of the 11 higher ranked properties, 8 of the properties were located in higher end developments, corresponding higher land costs. And by chance, 5 of the homes sold in our neighborhood in 2022, 4 of these homes were built by Cornerstone Specialties, the same contractor who built our home. The 4 have floor plans nearly identical to ours, and I listed the properties there for you to review and see the costs associated with that. So after careful consideration and review of the available sales information and the stated goals of the assessor's office to adjust valuation based on sales price of subcategories of similar situated structures, we ask for fair consideration and ask for a value of $545 and $315 a square foot. Thank you.
Thank you, Mike. Mike, you want to respond to that?
Yes, so the sales that we do have to include the special assessments. That's required by the state. And so that ends up being part of our calculation, especially for the sales ratio. And in this case, the sales that we received from Mr. Raitan did not include those specials. And again, we have to consider those as part of our investigation as far as our analysis goes. So in our opinion, we're not necessarily speaking the same language. You have a lot of people who question the whole concept of specials and how it plays into the market. As far as we're concerned, we have to include it for the state purposes and for the sales analysis. At this point, we have the value of the home. We reduced it down to $322 per square foot, as you can see there. And the sales are indicating a median, again, a midpoint of $340 a square foot. So we believe that the value is supported.
Now, on the sheet Mike gave us, he does have the specials listed. So on this paper, it does have all the specials listed.
Okay, and I'm not sure if we have that one in our packet.
Yeah, he
Is that
just,
the one you gave us today?
they're anywhere from 50,000, 46,000 to 52,000 based.
Okay,
Similar on the house, and his is 46,000 or something. Is that right, Mike?
Yes, sir, and thank you for pointing that out. This information that I do have on the sheet is right from the Fargo website that shows the true and full value. So it does include the specials, their calculations with the specials.
okay.
So we actually valued it lower than what average price was and did do a reduction on it.
Yes, we did.
Okay.
My question then is the 4 properties that were built by the same contractor that sold in my neighborhood, of those 4 properties, 2 of them are lower, 2 are even, and then 1 is slightly higher. So and I guess you have to ask, otherwise you don't get the consideration. So I just wanted to point that out, that, I mean, we have the same contractor here building the same house.
Yep, thank you. Feeling of the commission, to have a motion.
I'll make the motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
Motion is to retain the current value of $569,000, correct?
Okay, and then I would request the opportunity to appeal.
Yep, so after this meeting is over, all you would have to do is just go and call the county to bring your appeal, because they're the next level.
Perfect. Thank you very much, and thank you for your time this morning.
Thank you.
And again, the staff here at the city were great to work with. Janelle was very responsive, getting back to me on the information as I requested.
Thank you. Roll call vote, please.
Pepcorn?
Aye.
Strand?
Yes.
Kolpak?
Aye.
Preston?
Aye.
Mahoney?
Aye. Property 1114, Fifth Street North. And that's the added sheet that we have handed out. Is this-
Yes, that's the addition. It's a loose leaf sheet on.
Welcome back.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. My name is Carla Rose Hansen. I live at 1114 Fifth Street North. And I just wanted to request that we deny the valuation of my property. It's gone up considerably over the last 2 years. In 2022, it was valued at $354,200. And in 2023, the projected assessment was $407,300. The increase was due, according to city staff, due to the sales and market lately. The valuation was increased $53,100. That was the increase in a 1-year time. That was on top of a $32,200 increase to the property the year before. So in total, over a 2-year period, the valuation increased $85,300. So it just seemed to me that that was a very significant increase over a 2-year period. The city staff, I have to agree with the previous speaker, very responsive, very good at communicating. The comparable parcels from the sales that was shared with me showed 3 different properties in my neighborhood. The price per square foot for those 3 properties were $204, $211, and $238. The square footage for my property was assessed at $247. So quite a bit more than the comparable parcels. So if the committee was acceptable to this proposal, if we assessed the property at the highest of those 3 comparable parcels, $238 per square foot, it would be a difference lowering of $15,314,000. So I just want to bring that forward. It seemed like a large jump. In looking at the comparable parcels of comparable sales, I understand that the market is higher, but it seemed like an excessive increase. And obviously, in my current role, I hear a lot from neighbors throughout Fargo about property taxes and their concerns. And the rate is one aspect in a lot of our political subdivisions, keep that stable, but the assessment is sometimes the concern for people. So
So we have on our form that we rated it at $212 a square foot. Mike, what's the disconnect?
Yep, the difference is that there is a 3rd floor there that is finished the same as the rest of the house. And so it depends on how you are counting the square footage. We have 275 square feet in the 3rd floor, finished the same as the rest of the house, so we would consider it, viable square footage. And so that's why you've got that $212 discrepancy from the 247. I believe it's the other number, is it 1,649 or something like that is the square footage of just the 1st and 2nd floor. So if something around there, that extra 275 square foot is what's making the difference on a square footage basis. So that has to be considered from that aspect of, and then the other thing is the sales that we have here. If we show that $212 a square foot is very comparable to those 3 properties that are right along in that same neighborhood.
But you have a medium average of 204 and you have an average of 200. How does that correlate to the 212? It seems like that 212 was higher than the 200.
Yeah, let's see, I'm gonna have to. We have the median. I guess the other thing is that I'm guessing that. Oh yes, sorry. I believe there's finished basement in this house as well. Is that correct?
yes.
Okay. So the houses that we have in here as the comparables did not have as much finished basement as this one. So that's going to drive up the value to a certain degree as well. So again, when we're doing our calculations, we only use the square footage that's above the above grade, but the value of the finished basement also contributes to the overall value of the house. And so what you're going to have is we take the value, the total value divided by the above grade square footage. But if you have that basement finish in there, that value is going to contribute to the overall dollars per square foot. So I'm guessing that that's what's pushing it over that 204, the 204 number.
Mr. Chairman,
Mr. Preston?
it sounds contradictory as to what you just told us, that basements weren't considered. Can you explain a little further?
If there's no basement finish in the house, then it wouldn't be a part of the value. But this house does have basement finish in it. So like with the house prior to this, if there is no, if there's no, if the finished basement is not finished, then we're not adding value for finished basement. But in this house, there is finished basement, so we're adding value for it.
How do you calculate the value? As I understood from the previous comparable sales, you were discounting or not counting in the basement, no matter whether they were finished or not? That's what I understood you saying.
So you're talking about the previous house? Mm-hmm. Okay.
And the comparable sales with that.
And the comparable sales. So in this case, the houses that are here, they wouldn't have sold for as much because they didn't have a finished basement. So the sales that we have here, you're gonna see a difference in the sales price, whether they have finished basement or not. So it's gonna be a value contribution of some kind.
How do you calculate that value contribution is my question.
Well, typically, on the cost basis, what we're doing is we're taking it as a percentage of the dollars per square foot for the main part of it. So if you have, in this case, on this house, $212 per square foot for the house itself. But as part as the value contribution, the basement finish is typically going to be something like $40 a square foot or something like that. Basically just saying that the finished basement is there, it's finished like the rest of the house, it contributes value of some kind, and this is what it's going to be. In this case, I don't know exactly what it is for this house, but it's going to be in our system that the basement finish does contribute a value of some kind.
It looks like you added $8 a square foot, basically, because if you went from 204 to 212, in a sense.
You could say that, yeah.
Yeah.
May I make a comment?
Yes, you may.
So the 204 and 212 does not appear anywhere on the information that was shared with me. It shows at 247 per square foot. So that's new information to me. Related to the third floor finish, it's a small space. It has been finished for the 20 plus years that we've owned it. It was finished before we bought it, so it was not an improvement that we made. And is, from my understanding, not able to be counted in the square foot when you sell it. You know, it's not a full-sized space, I should say. So anyway, those are just the comments I would add.
What does the commission want to do?
I'll make the motion, Mr. Chair.
To retain current value?
To retain the current value of $407,300 at $212 per square foot.
Is there a second? Is there a second? Can I entertain another motion, please?
This one just seems more squishy to me. I don't know what the alternative motion would be here.
Retain a value of $204 square foot, which would decrease the total value. Jim, can you do a calculation on what that would be for final value? Account without a calculator.
Right. Forgive me.
$6,000.
That would be $392,100.
And how much per square foot is that?
204.
204.
We got to solve this. We can't sit here all morning, so I need a motion.
So moved.
Mr. Strand, so moved. Is there a second?
I'll second. And can I add to
Discussion?
that?
Go ahead.
Thank you. I'm not comfortable approving the increased value without having more additional information and understanding. And this just seems like to approve the higher value without the adequate data. I'm not comfortable. So I will approve. I mean, I'll make the second with those comments.
Okay. Any other discussion? Roll call vote?
Strand,
Yes.
Colpack,
Yes.
Pepcorn,
No,
Preston,
Yes.
Mahoney.
Yes. Now we have to go back to items, the three items in there that we had nobody speak to us about. And that would be a motion to retain those values. Is that right, Jim?
Yes.
That would be Matthews, Suckelson, Camroot, and Burke.
So
Do I
moved.
do I have a motion?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Moved and seconded. Roll call vote, please.
Strand,
Yes.
Preston,
Aye.
Colpack,
Aye.
Pepcorn,
aye.
Mahoney.
Aye. Next, we go individual appeals from the floor. And that is items 25 through 173. Jim, what do you want to do with those?
Do we have one more from the floor? Yep, I believe we
Okay.
do.
What page would this be,
It's
please?
page 151.
Good
Good
morning.
morning, Commissioners. My name is Shannon Roche Jones. 5948 Silverleaf Drive is what I'm here on. Asking for a reduction in the appraised value or assessed value for my property. Similar to the previous speakers, my property has had significant increases in assessed value over the last 2 years. The proposed increase right now is $91,500. The year before that was $55,400 for a total increase over the last 2 years of $147,000. So they're showing a value for the property right now with the proposed increase of $701,000. So if you look at, as a percentage of that $700,000, increases of $147,000 in 2 years is quite significant. I don't have, I have some information. I wasn't sure if I should distribute it or send it in advance, but as you know, I've been gone out of town for the last 4 months and only been back for a little over a week. And so I haven't had a chance to really pull this together well, but I did speak to an appraiser friend of mine who pulled some comparables. The comparable sales for property like mine ranges from, on the low end, $588,000 to, on the high end, $677,000. And based on, I didn't have time to have an appraisal done because I haven't been there to let people into my house. But based on the assessment that they did with a colleague, they estimated that the valuation should be much closer to $600,000 than it should be over $700,000. And I don't know if there are questions or
Questions from the
information.
commissioners?
What's up? Oh, I'm sorry.
No, any questions from the commissioners? No? Jim, do you want to speak to this, please?
Sure. I mean, we've got a two-story single-family dwelling built in 2013. We have it valued at $701,300, $264 a square foot. We haven't been provided an estimated market value up until this point, so we really can't speak to that. However, staff does provide 5 comparable sales to support the 2023 value. Those had a median sale price of $307 per square foot.
Now, your medium is 307 and 306. Yet on this one, you're doing a 264. Why is it not at 304, 307?
It's possible that there could be basement finish involved in this one and not on the others. It could be that the other properties have much higher special assessments that could be in the land value. There's plenty of reasons that could be.
Can I ask what your special assessments are?
Special assessments, I don't have the balance off the top of my head, but the payment over the last few years has been just under $1,900.
Okay, thank you. So we could retain value and you could get your stuff together and appeal to the county if you would like. We'll see what the commission does here, but that would be the option she would have to get her
course,
stuff
yep.
together. Plus, you had not seen a comparable sale of her house or appraised
We
value.
have not yet, no, unfortunately.
Commission members, the one thing that the appraisers who looked at the my valuation, my property versus the other properties on the market, they felt that there was a higher value given to my home based on the other houses in my neighborhood, rather than comparing it to similar houses. I have, my house is a small house in a neighborhood of larger houses. And so I don't know how that factors in, but when you're comparing it to houses that are similar finishes, similar sizes to mine, it should be valued lower.
Mr. Chairman,
Mr. Preston?
a couple of questions and then a comment. Can you explain to me the appraisal today versus the current value?
Yeah.
What are they?
Yeah, so the appraisal today, staff performs a sales comparison approach on the market
Okay.
value.
Okay,
That's the appraisal today.
so it's not an actual appraisal where you go in and, okay.
It would be considered in-house or a desktop appraisal if we haven't been
Gotcha.
to the property.
This one seems a little more clear to me because the value per square foot is quite a bit lower than the median. When you look at desktop appraisals, does the state require you to be limited to a certain neighborhood when you do that? Or can you explain her comments about if you look at the similar size house in a different neighborhood?
This home is in the Silverleaf neighborhood, is that correct? Yeah. The state doesn't require us to be in any specific neighborhood when setting a market value.
It doesn't or does?
Does not.
Does not.
No. Our office, we group neighborhoods together by essentially a rating. So when we look for comparable sales, we look for neighborhoods that match that rating along with other variables that are in the property data. And so I can't really speak to what Ms. Roars-Jones is meaning when she's talking about.
So these aren't all right in the immediate neighborhood?
No,
Oh, okay.
no.
Okay.
Okay, do I have a motion?
I'll make the recommended motion.
Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? The motion is to retain the current value of 701,300, and that square foot footage is 264 compared to what the medium is 307. Roll call vote, please.
Pepcorn?
Aye.
Preston?
Aye.
Colpack?
Aye.
Strand?
Yes.
Mahoney?
Aye. So now we'll go back to, this is the individual appeals. That was the only appeal out of that, James. So then we would have a motion for the individual appeals to retain value.
Correct.
This is item 2. I need a motion to retain the values from 25 to 173.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Strand?
Yes.
Colpack?
Aye.
Pepcorn?
Aye.
Preston?
Aye.
Mahoney?
Aye. Item 3 is a list of unresolved appeals. Go ahead.
You've essentially taken care of item 3.
Okay.
So item 2 is basically all the people that we didn't know if they were coming or not. We have our information in there. Those are included in item 3, list of unresolved appeals. So
Okay.
we've already taken care of item 3, and we're able to move on to item 4.
So a suggested motion is to adjust their retained values as recommended by city staff. And this is page 177. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Moved by Kolpak, second by Preston. Roll call vote, please.
Colpack?
Aye.
Preston?
Aye.
Strand?
Yes.
Pepcorn?
Aye.
Mahoney?
Aye. Item 5. Are we okay, James, to go ahead with that?
Correct. Yep.
So this is approved and forward unresolved appeals to Cass County Board of Equalization. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Roll call vote.
Colpack?
Aye.
Preston?
Aye.
Strand?
Yes.
Pepcorn?
Aye.
Mahoney?
Aye. Item 6, approve the 2023 City of Fargo assessment value, roll valuations as equalized, and the city auditor's office be directed to certify the assessments to the county. Do I have a motion?
I so move.
Is there a second?
Second.
Roll call vote, please.
Pepcorn?
Aye.
Colpack?
Aye.
Strand?
Yes.
Preston?
Aye.
Mahoney?
Aye. Okay. Legal tells me missed one item, which is the Silverleaf properties with Vipon. I need a motion to,
I so move.
is there a second?
Second.
Roll call vote, please.
Roll call.
I'm sorry.
Pipcorn and Preston first.
Okay. Pipcorn,
Aye.
Preston,
Aye.
Strand,
Yes.
Kolpak,
Aye.
Mahoney.
Aye.
Mayor?
James, are we done with business of the day?
Unfortunately, no. I've been notified that there are people online that wish to speak.
Okay. Who do we have online?
Hi, we're here from Grant Thornton. We represent the Love's traffic stop at 39th Street, 3220 39th Street. We were instructed to log in, and we've been waiting patiently. Thank you for, I was getting a little concerned there for a minute, so thanks for letting us come in here.
James, what page is this, please?
43.
Go ahead, sir.
Hi, so we we have I guess I'm gonna share my screen, I suppose.
Okay.
Let's see. I'm sorry, I'm not familiar with your system here, so bear with me, please. Let me see. Hang on a second. Okay, there. That's you. For some reason I'm dark up there. I guess my camera doesn't work. Apologize for that. And I'm going to share. It looks like I'll be able to share my screen. Okay, so let's see. Window. Okay. And share. Okay.
Yep, we got it.
Okay, thank you. So my name is Jerry Amoroso, and I also have Alex Summers on the phone. Alex was dealing with you folks at the assessor's office, so we appreciate everybody's time. We'll try to make this as short as we can. The Love's property at 3220 39th Street received a valuation increase of about $1.8 million. The 2023 value was entered and noticed at $7,523,000. That's an increase from the 2022 value of $5,774,000. You'll see on the presentation we have a breakdown of value per square foot. That's on the building. The increase went to 247. Stayed at 247. You'll see the increase primarily is on the outbuilding, which is a repair garage, and also on the land value, which went from $6 a square foot roughly to $9 a square foot. We've included some sales of comparable, at least what we were able to find in terms of land, and Alex broke this down for the board and gave you an opinion of value at $4 million rounded. I'm going to scroll down here a little bit. This is the county, online information that we were able to receive, and here is their breakdown for the land. The building value breakdown. I'm going to go to the next page to get into our land value breakdown, which primarily makes up, as I said, the majority of the increase. And then I have a couple of other comparables to show you at the end. So these sales are CoStar verified, I believe, right, Alex? And
Yes.
And so if you'll see the breakdown, and again, you folks are the expert on your territory. I'm sitting here in Austin, Texas, so I certainly defer to your expertise. But this is the best that we were able to find over the last couple of years, and you'll see that even on the high end, the highest number we found for commercial land was $3.50 a square foot. These sales all average in, and you can see the breakdown here where they are compared to where the subject is. Very much accessible from major highways. I suppose this one's a little bit off to the side, but generally speaking, you're talking about 4 of these that are accessible from a major highway. if you'll just excuse me as I kind of fan down these, we included the CoStar reports on these properties, the verifications, and then I just wanted to take you to one last part, and again, we appreciate your time. That's just a breakdown of our power of attorney. So we were informed that the Love's property saw one of the comps used, or the comp used, was a sale of a Stay Mart, which I think is now a pilot at 12th Avenue North for $8.9 million. That value came in at $279 a square foot, much lower than our property, and it's also got 4 more acres than our property. So see, the Loves is currently assessed at $7.5 million or $442 a square foot. So we're not quite sure. We understand maybe you scale a little bit for size, but there's also a difference in square footage and acreage. So we're not sure how that comparable got thrown off from 279 and then became 442 per square foot. We also, and again, this is neither here nor there, but we do this work for Loves nationally, folks. And so we do try to benchmark throughout states and throughout regions. And what's interesting about the Fargo property is that Valley City, which is a brand new property, opened in 2021, so still pretty new. It's got more acreage, more square foot. It's the new Loves model, which is this building was built. The subject was built in 2010. This one's a 2021, so Loves builds them bigger now. This one's on at $355 a square foot, and then that's about an hour from you folks. I'm sure maybe you've stopped in there and got some gas and a soda. And then the Loves in Drayton, North Dakota, which is a little bit further out, a couple hours, I suppose, is also newer and about comparable in terms of acreage and size, and it's in at $386 a square foot. So we'd like you to consider the value that we put out there at $4 million. We understand that maybe while that's on the low side, we're certainly more than comfortable with what this property was at in 2022, which was the 5.8 million or 5.7 million roughly. We do think that the 7.5 is excessive, and we just can't get to that number. I mean, we see Loves in the $250 to $350 value per square foot. That includes their land pretty much nationally. And quite candidly, folks, $9 a foot. I mean, if you have sales, good, all the power to you, but that's that's a big number. So I appreciate your time. Alex, do you have anything I do all the talking all the time? I'm sorry. Alex, do you have anything to add?
No, good here. Thanks, Jerry.
Thank you. We do appreciate your time.
Thank you. James, you want to respond to that?
Yes, I do. If we could switch back to the logo screen here.
Yeah, let me, did I stop it? I think I might have stopped it. Did I stop it?
The crux of the appeal seems to be on the land value. Land was reappraised along 32nd Avenue for 2023. In addition, truck stops were reappraised in 2022. We increased land values all along 32nd Avenue South based on these land sales. The subject property is denoted with the orange arrow, as you can see. The best comparable sale we have is directly across the interstate on this corner lot of similar size at $10.76 a square foot. All along 32nd Avenue, we have sales between $14 and $16 per square foot. We feel our land value is supported, and we also feel our total assessed value is supported.
So they're requesting adopt to much lower than the 7.
Correct. They're using land sales out of our market and possibly raw, and they're indicating a value of about $3 a square foot. The sales do not indicate that.
Okay. What's the feeling of the commission? What would you like to do?
I'll make a motion to retain the current value.
Is there a
as
second?
recommended by staff.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Preston,
Aye.
Pepcorn,
Aye.
Kolpak. Aye. Strand,
Yes.
Mahoney.
Aye. Now, James, do we have anything left? Is there anybody else online?
Could I just ask a question, a point of order? I'm sorry. This is Jerry again. Will we receive a notice so that we can go to the county with,
Yes.
With this next level? I heard some other folks to do that on the residential side.
Yes, you would contact the Cass County Director of Equalization.
But will you guys send a notice out?
We
sir? Okay, okay.
Okay.
Okay, so, are you saying we should proactively contact the Cass County folks?
Yes.
Okay, all right. Thank you, folks. You guys have a great day.
Thank you. Is there anybody else online, James? No?
I don't believe so.
No, are we completed with all our business?
I believe we can adjourn.
Is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
We're adjourned.